Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is a wonderful Sunday in March. And as always, the Wrasslin for Life Network is back because we are here every single day. We don't stop. As always, I am KJ White and I am joined with the wonderful Mr. Will. How are you today?
I'm doing amazing. It's a Sunday and it's March break for me, so I can grind even more with you guys. That sounds weird, but
You
I'm just gonna.
right? Even better. I like it. Some time off, some downtime. And we're back at it. This is our second episode of the weekly Wrasslin for Life Network power rankings that we're going to do every week. We run through the shows, the major shows. We don't dive into the indies and such. And we will probably touch on a little bit of some of the other things we saw. For those out there who like independent wrestling, like the indies,
We
will
will,
have
will.
a show coming your way for the independent shows. We are doing a weekly wrap up. LJ is taking that one on, and that will be coming your way soon. As far as we go, we will be running you through the major shows. Chris is happy to see us. Let's go. But yeah, well, another crazy week in wrestling. There was a bit of a drop off this week. Last week we had some go home shows, and everybody was amped. The reviews and the ratings weren't as great this week.
No, I think judging from the fact that people wanted to sell the pay-per-views last week with the go-home shows, it seems like now that the pay-per-views are done, it's just a sigh of relief and just trying to set up more things, but it doesn't
Yep.
really seem like they have been this week, but
Mhm.
there was still some good moments and still some sleep-worthy ones, bathroom break-worthy ones, but hey, we're
Yep.
gonna run through those here.
Absolutely. So, with that being said, folks, let's kick off this week's power rankings. I'm going to bring this up real quick. Obviously, that's what we're doing here. And actually, we're going to add a little note to the screen just for the fans. Doo-doo-doo. Boom. There we go.
There we go.
So, let me fix that. But yeah, no, we're good to go. Now, with that being said, we go from 6 to 1 on this particular countdown. And this week, just like last week, number 6. What are we going to talk about first? Any guesses, Will?
Let me guess. It is Monday Night Raw.
That is accurate, sir.
Wow.
So Monday Night Raw is sitting in the 6th place this week. I mean, Raw had some moments. The fans overall felt like it was about a 4 or a 5. So that's how I ended up in 6th place again. The fans weren't really feeling a whole lot of what we got. I mean, there was a lot of confusing moments. Even some of the good stuff they had started with Seth and Owens seems to have been sullied at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we had like an almost hour-long Raw Tag Team Title triple threat match between Alpha Academy, RK Bro, and Seth and KO. It was pretty decent. There were some good moments as well, and RK Bro got the pin, but it was just a little long for my take, but it was still pretty good to start off. And then, of course, we had a tease of a breakup between Seth and KO, and then everyone knows what happened from there.
Yeah.
KO challenged Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania.
Yeah, which I mean, at the end of the day, I think becomes the biggest highlight of the week for Raw.
Yeah, that's the most talked about one. And then Stone Cold replied on Twitter on a Tuesday.
Yep.
So what else happened there, KJ?
Well, I mean, like we said, we'll get to this whole Stone Cold thing, and we'll talk about how it was the main event of the night, even though he wasn't in the building. We're gonna skip over all the 24/7 stuff because really, who the hell
Uh,
didn't see that? We had a weird segment where Jerry the King Lawler was a guest on Miz TV. However, he was introduced last as if he was a guest. It was a really awkward take.
yeah, it was like Miz and Logan Paul were a guest on the King's Court, but yet Jerry came out last.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense. It was a bit ass backwards. Obviously, we're still working on this whole Miz thing. We got a little more Dolph and the rivalry with Ciampa and Braun, and now the rumors that Braun is part of the main roster. I mean, that's kind of interesting. I mean, almost for Apollo Crews, who cares?
Nope.
Edge gave a promo about AJ Styles, explained why he concertoed him twice and tried to kill him.
Literally kill him.
Then we got obviously Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan get a win over Zelina Vega and Carmella. That was average at best. Nobody really cared.
Nope.
And then the actual main event of the night was Finn Balor against Austin Theory for the U.S. title. Good athletes, good match. It was probably the best part of the night. And then obviously we get KO comes out at the end. The main event, the actual final spot, the go home moment of Monday Night Raw is Kevin Owens not challenging Stone Cold. And even though Stone Cold made a video that would say, and no, I said it too, he did kind of challenge him, but it's more of an angle. It's just KO is going to be having a WrestleMania KO show, and he has invited the one, the only Stone Cold Steve Austin to be a guest.
I mean, it's better than a match. I mean, how old is he? Like, he's got to be in like his 60s or like late 50s.
Yeah, no, he's pushing. He's late 50s, I do believe.
Yeah, so he might be able to if it's like 5 minutes, but even then, like, I don't think that would be good for him.
Yeah.
But it was still decent. But I still think at the end they should have had the glass break. Like he's like, I'm inviting, and then,
yeah,
and then Steve comes out, right? But I'm happy. I'm excited for this. But if it's a KO show, I don't really think it will be that memorable. But it is what it is. We're getting Stone Cold at WrestleMania.
I mean, if this is the capacity we can get Stone Cold involved in wrestling, I mean, the WWE is going to take the pop either way they can get it.
True that. They'll do anything for that little Mania pop.
So yeah, that being said, Raw came in at an average rating of 4 this week. A lot of meh. A whole lot of meh.
There's a whole lot of meh. Yeah, and a whole lot of who cares. Like, we don't want to see this.
So that is your number 6 show this week, folks. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see where it goes as far as Austin and that. Will he make an appearance before Mania? The answering the tweet, I mean, it's Stone Cold. Why is Stone Cold Steve Austin tweeting anything? Should have been radio silence, make everybody wonder how Stone Cold feels. And then, Stone Cold maybe shows up on if you can't get him live and in person, you could get him up on the Tron, get him up on the screen, and at least get that pop. But Austin's tweeting challenges and then the angles. And Austin cut a promo like he was about to get in a brawl. So completely weird and not the best delivery for the WWE brand.
No, it was pretty unrealistic on the part of Steve Austin. He would love to just get in there and kick everybody's ass, but we're in 2022.
So he tweeted.
Gotta be tweeting. More people will watch that way.
Right? Well, I mean, like I said, it's a little bit funny to me. But with that being said, that was Monday Night Raw. That is number 6 on the countdown. And with that, we will move to number 5. And I mean, Raw had a better week. It dropped 3 spots. It was number 3 last week. It had a pretty good show. This show, however, is kind of staying put in, again, that's both WWE big roster shows as the fans have voted. This one got an average rating of 5, so slightly higher than Raw. But there wasn't a whole lot going on here either.
No, I mean, we started off good. We had Brock come out wanting to kick Roman Reigns' ass, and then we got Paul being like, haha, he's not here. And then we had a wild goose chase between the two. And Brock kicking some security's ass. That was fun. I liked that.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was easily the best part of the night. Sorry, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
Not at all, man. That was actually probably the best part of the show. I mean, Lesnar on we kick it off. They give us some rundown of what happened at Madison Square Garden, of obviously the images of Brock on the stairs, bloodied, and Roman standing over him with 2 belts. Did not sit well with the Beast. Paul shows up, lets everyone know that Roman's not there. Basically gives Brock a tongue lashing, and then when Brock decides to go get him, Paulie moved faster than I've seen Paulie move ever. And he just took a sprint and made it to his car and took off.
Yeah. That was fun. What else happened after that? I'm trying to
What happened
remember.
after that? We got the biggest debut of the week. I'm laughing. WWE introduced us to their newest signing.
Oh no,
Butch.
Butch.
Butch is here. Has everyone been highly anticipating the arrival of Butch? We can't get Veer in the ring, but Butch is here. And for those who don't know, Butch is also known as the One. Pete Dunne. He has joined Sheamus and Ridge in a faction, and he is now known as Butch, and they give him a hat to sit on his man bun.
Yeah, and suspenders. Don't forget that.
Oh, true.
Yeah, and then after that we had Big E and Kofi. I think, yeah, it was Big E and Kofi of the New Day taking on Ridge and Sheamus.
Yeah.
And this was another highlight. Ridge was gonna give like a sort of a suplex on the outside, and then Big E broke his damn neck.
Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest stories come out of this week, and obviously thoughts and prayers out to Big E. Hope he's doing well.
Yeah.
He did take a time to, change things up, and Chris completely agrees that Butch. We know him as Pete Dunne. He's been Pete Dunne. He's competed on WWE main roster as Pete Dunne. So the fact that he's Butch now is stupid. But yeah, we have a floor spot between Ridge and Big E where it's a belly to belly, and Big E didn't quite rotate enough to land on his back or shoulders, caught his head, and he never came back. We knew in the moment there was a little bit of a oh no, because he wasn't able to participate in like the beat down that happened after the fact, and of course they required an ambulance to remove him from the building. Very sad when somebody gets hurt. Very sad especially when it's something crazy like a broken neck.
Yeah.
I don't think we fully understand the extent of what's happening for Big E, but it looks like he'll be on the shelf for quite a while. He did put out a message to the fans, letting everyone know that he appreciates the love and support. So if you haven't given him any yet, maybe do some of that. But overall, the match was average. It was kind of overshadowed by the fact that Big E was hurt. And again, we're so used to seeing, the New Day and Ridge and Sheamus and that hodgepodge of people. But it looks like Kofi is on his own again.
And maybe he could benefit from that. Maybe he could benefit from being on his own. Maybe he could be one-on-one with Sheamus at the kickoff show.
There you go.
That could be very possible. But I think Kofi shines on his own anyways.
Yeah.
He doesn't need them, in my opinion, at least.
Mm-hmm. I'd be totally up for Kofi and Ricochet going for that belt. Probably be a kickoff show match, but Kofi can go, Ricochet can go. They're both athletic. I'd be
That's
down
true.
for that.
Yeah, I'd be 100% down for that. That would probably be the best of the night.
Why not? It's got a lot of potential there. But after that, so we don't spend too much time, one of my favorite parts of the whole week this week, as much as I bagged on the whole rivalry with Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville, I did laugh. We did pop.
Yeah, we did.
Knoxville put Sami Zayn's phone number on the banner that was being pulled by an airplane. And I don't know if you've caught it this week on social media, but Sammy's been posting like this has been going on for 12 hours and his phone.
Yeah.
I'm sure he got a fake phone and or a secondary phone and did this, but nonetheless, I laughed. It's a prank. We're dealing with the guys from Jackass. You expect stupid shit, and this definitely qualifies as stupid shit, but it was funny.
Yeah, I saw a bit of social media where it was like he was on a house show and then he lost because he kept hearing his phone going off or something like that, and it was so funny. But yeah, and again, we are dealing with Johnny Knoxville here, and what else can you expect? He's gonna prank people that he doesn't like, or that he does like. He pranks everybody.
Yeah, right. Just in general. So that was kind of funny. Then we got into some Drew McIntyre stuff. The Viking Raiders caught in another pre-match brawl.
Yeah.
For big, tough Vikings that conquer the world, that were world beaters in every wrestling organization, these guys really struggle from getting beat up and not being able to participate.
Yeah, what like how many times is this? Like at Elimination Chamber now this?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it's happened a few times, and it makes them look bad. The match was nonsense. It didn't matter. The big point of this was Corbin getting a chance to smash Drew McIntyre a little bit, and then that was it. It was really average, and nobody really cared. Did you take anything else other than that away from that?
uh there was like a bit of a 4-on-1 or 5-on-1
Yeah,
beatdown. Yeah, it was Corbin, Moss, Shanky, Jinder,
Jinder.
and um well, actually I think it was 4.
Yeah, it is four. You're right.
Yeah, it wasn't. And then Drew McIntyre beat the hell out of all of them, and
Mhm.
yeah, Claymore, Shanky, and then that was it because
Yep.
who cares about Shanky?
Well, I mean, in the Shanky's on TV. We don't know where Veer is, so
Oh yeah, maybe we should ask Shanky where Veer is. He'll
yeah, no,
know.
absolutely. So, no, I mean, the problem with that is they're trying to sell us on a match. You want us to believe that Corbin versus McIntyre is going to be a good match. Well, you just beat up Corbin and three friends. It's a bad look.
True.
It's definitely a bad look. Where did we go from there? We went to Ronda Rousey cutting a promo. She sucks at it. Sorry, Ronda Rousey fans. She does. She sucks.
That is true.
She's not great in the wrestling ring either. So, eesh. Flair retreated. This time she wasn't dumb enough, like just rolling into getting beat up again. Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I mean, maybe I'm different. A lot of people are excited about Ronda's back and she's gonna fight Charlotte and she's probably gonna win, but I don't care.
Me
I don't
neither.
care.
I had no idea she was still under contract with WWE until she came back, and it seems like she's just there for a big check because she
Mhm.
was bad mouthing WWE when she left, so
Yeah.
it's not a good look for her, is it?
No. And then speaking of average and who cares, which is the run we got on with SmackDown here. And realistically, SmackDown probably could have been 6 and Raw could have been 5. But I mean, interchangeable parts at this point. We'll call it 5A and B. But we got a whole lot of we established the team bad, Banks and Naomi. They get a big win. So now they're heading towards Mania. Liv and Rhea are heading towards Mania. Zelina and Carmella are in there somewhere. Nobody cares. Nobody really gives a shit.
No,
And it's a whole lot of average baloney.
that is facts, and I think it's just people complaining that, oh my god, my queen Liv ain't at Mania, Sasha's not at Mania, Naomi ain't. Like
Yep.
they just don't want to hear people complain.
No, and I mean that's it. I mean, we already knew Sasha had a problem when they tag teamed her and Bailey to win the women's tag team title at Mania, and she wasn't thrilled about it. It was just their way of getting her on the show. They're doing it again, so I wonder how Sasha feels about it this time. Does she have a better attitude, a different opinion? But they don't have anything for Becky, Charlotte have opponents. Sasha's not in the mix, so she's going to team up with Naomi for a 3-way tag match, which nobody cares about.
Yeah, that's true. And
Uh, yeah.
then we had Pat and Austin fighting in the middle of a oh no, not in the middle, at the start, the
Yes.
long-awaited start of a IC title match between Ricochet and Sami Zayn.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it was the match didn't matter. They took all the piss out of the match before it even begun. The whole rivalry with Pat. I don't mind the angle, but you just had Natalia and Naomi and all these
Yeah,
segments. Even earlier in the night we had segments and matches that didn't mean shit, didn't matter, didn't add anything. Why not have Austin come out and smack Pat and cause all that brawl? Because the fans were into it. I'll give them an A for the whole Austin Theory Pat thing. People want to see these guys scrap. They don't really know what it means. Obviously, we joke about Theory being Vince's little protege. Pat is Pat. I think we kind of want to see the match, but it was just wrong. It was just poor timing. You just
Yeah.
shit all over your IC belt again.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, and, it was good to see Ricochet, get a clean victory this time, no
Mhm.
interference,
Yep.
but it was all overshadowed by Pat and
Mhm.
Austin.
Yep.
Like, you could have done this earlier
Mhm.
or never, like, it
Mhm.
doesn't make sense.
No, it didn't make sense. It completely took the focus off, and I mean, I felt like Sami Zayn and Ricochet, based on the promo and the commercials and the fight and the more commercials, they felt like they were standing in the ring, picking their ass for like a good solid 20 minutes.
Yeah, that was another thing too, there was so many commercials, and then there was, like, that brawl after the commercial break, then we had another one, and then the match started. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
insane.
And the match wasn't, I mean, two guys that can wrestle. I do think Sammy losing to Ricochet clean again is in a very shortened match. It wasn't like a, oh my God, I can't believe it. It was a good match, but it was just short. So the buy-in is tricky. The buy-in is tough. And then you look at the fact that it was over, and then we jumped to something that was also more important, which was Ronda and Charlotte in the parking lot. I like this. This was my favorite part of SmackDown. I joked about Johnny Knoxville, but I mean, I like the brawl between the ladies. I thought the visual of Charlotte bending Ronda back on the hood of the car was
Yeah.
unbelievable. Dun dun
Y
dun.
yeah, it
I
was
love
like a little, callback, to the whole when they got arrested and the car thing, years
before.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a little callback, but I that's just an attempt to make people care about this. I still don't care about this match. Oh, by the way, hey LJ, how's it going?
Hey LJ, how are you doing? How are you doing? But yeah, in a nutshell, my friend, that was SmackDown for Friday night. There wasn't a whole lot. There was a couple things, like I said, Johnny Knoxville's prank was kind of funny. Obviously the moment with Big E was tragic and sad, and nobody wants to see
Butch.
that. And then Butch was a shit show. I don't know how we got there.
I don't
Um,
know.
yeah, it's a struggle. And
Yeah.
then, I mean, it ended on a decent note, but the rest of the show sucked, and it was really bad. So um, I'm hoping that they can respond. They can get better. It's the Friday night show's been lacking.
Yeah, like it seems like it's just the bathroom break show, as I like
The
to call it.
bathroom break show, right?
Especially, what it was like, 2 days ago, like, this week's show. It was bad.
Yes.
Um, I gave it well, I think I gave it a 5 just because of the
Hmm.
Paul stuff and the Knoxville stuff and what else was good there? The Pat stuff.
Yep. And I think the fans felt it was around a 5. It wasn't complete garbage. You give them points for the stuff that was half decent, and then the rest of it just fell flat. So, Raw was a 4, SmackDown's a 5 this week. We'd like to see the main roster shows pick it up, and LJ does feel bad for Big E, as we all do.
Yeah, I
Uh,
do too.
Injuries are tough, especially with athletes. They put their body on the line, wrestling and other sports as well. You understand when someone takes a punch in the face or takes a high stick in hockey or whatever it is, but when a guy lands on his neck, you want him to be okay. So our thoughts and prayer with Biggie. He seems like he's in good spirits, as he always is, and I will say this: if he recovers and he works hard and he gets back, the place will explode. There's a chance to actually give him a decent title run when he returns.
I hope that happens, and I hope it's away from the New Day. Like, I hope there's a heel turn inbound.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a heel turn would be nice. I like them as heels. I like the New Day as heels. They were annoying. They were a pain in the ass. They cheated a lot, but you couldn't beat them. That's the way to do it.
True.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on to number 4 in this week's power ranking as voted by the fans and their watch party numbers and ratings that we get every show. That's right, folks. We are here every day of the week covering every show. We even covered GCW Astronaut last night. Fun time with me and Chris, and we're not stopping. We got the Crockett Cup coming up. We have WrestleMania weekend coming up. We're trying to work on a way to cover GCW's spring break on the same weekend as WrestleMania. We will have NXT stand and deliver. It doesn't stop. We're coming with news. We're coming with podcasts. We're coming with so much, and we have so many things planned. So stay tuned. Thank you for joining us here today. And the number one show, the number 4 show of the week. See, I get distracted by my own promo. Is AEW Impact on Friday night. Will
Rampage. It's not Impact.
you know what's funny? I was
What?
looking at my Impact note, and I was looking at the screen, so my eyes were going in 2 places. So let's try this again. AEW Rampage. Yes, we do know what we're talking about here on this channel. We just have glitches.
Yeah.
AEW Rampage Friday night, as voted by the fans. It came in at about a 6.5. Some mixed reviews. Again, another meh show, another kind of average show. But you know, the most fans seem to think it was about a 6. How did you feel?
You know, I love the way that AEW is going, at least right now, ever since they bought Ring of Honor. But when it comes to Rampage itself, it just seems like the meh one. Dynamite seems like the one to go.
Yep.
I don't know. I think they had a pretty stacked card. I mean, we started off there with Darby and Mark Quinn of Private Party after the
Yes.
whole Hardy betrayal. And we
Yeah.
even had the Hardy Boys come out this week.
We did. There was a bit of a standoff. They didn't really have to do so much, and obviously, AEW Impact. That's enough out of you, LJ.
That's the best show title ever.
Hey, it might be a thing. It might be a thing. I mean, we've seen so much crossover in Forbidden Door games, but Dre obviously had her big moment this week with Jeff Hardy joining. So we got Team Extreme together, visually together, and walked out, back down the heels who just rolled out and didn't have any part of it. The match was pretty good. Not bad.
Yeah, no. Well, you can't go wrong with Darby and Private Party, especially with all the stuff that went down back at Revolution. So I thought it was pretty decent. Kind of set up a Hardy, Sting, and Darby versus Andrade Family Office type of match. So I
Mhm.
can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be great. I mean, we're going to get the Hardy Boys back in the ring. Will they stay together long term? Is there a secondary plan? Are we just happy to see? I mean, to see the Hardys go through the Young Bucks, FTR, you know,
Jurassic Express.
Jurassic Express, Santino and Ortiz. We're going to get some really crazy matches that we never thought we would see the Hardy Boys in. And I mean, I know we talk and people talk, and there's fans out there when they hear this, they're going to cringe and tell me to go shag a tree. But the truth is, the Young Bucks are not one of the best tag teams ever. And they're clearly not one of the best tag teams right now. They don't give us enough, in my humble opinion. You might disagree.
No,
But
I agree.
they're struggling. So, and someone else, hello, Summer, she believes that Rampage should have been ranked higher as well. I was a little surprised, but the other 2 shows kind of stole it a little bit. And this one and the next one are obviously somewhat debatable in the middle here.
Yeah. And then next we had a bit of Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Martinez. Didn't really care for it, in my honest opinion.
Yep. Oh, I agree. And that's, I think, the story of the show was we had some good matches. And like you said, it was a kind of a stacked card on paper. You know, Darby, I think, is underrated as a technician. He's really good. He dives in. But the match was meh. It was more about the Hardys and the moment after and the, you know, this kind of relationship that's going on. Same thing with this match. It was a okay match. Didn't suck. Wasn't great. But it could have been better.
Yeah. And then we also had Keith Lee and QT Marshall.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
I love Keith Lee. But he got his ass beat by Team Taz. So I don't know
Well,
where they're going with that.
yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing with the Keith Lee, and we talk about the one thing I notice on Rampage consistently is it's very overbooked. Like there's a lot of bodies, there's a lot of people. And this was another example, right, where he's kind of got issues with Team Taz, but then he has to first beat QT and the Nightmare Factories, you know, Camarato and Solo, and anything else with an O in the last name. Apparently, is a part of QT's gang. They all get together, and he's got to fend them all off. He's got to, jump. You got to get jumped, and he gets over it. Then he gets jumped by Team Taz. It's a lot of booking. It's a lot of scramble. He couldn't have had a match with somebody from Team Taz. I don't know.
Yeah, and then we had the main event. We had Tony Nese versus Swerve Strickland in his AEW debut.
Yeah, now this was a good match. I like this match, and I mean, as we talked, overall the show got a pretty average rating of about 6, and but this match was good. This was a decent match, a decent introduction to Swerve Strickland in AEW. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good, and giving Nese and Swerve some time to shine. I mean, these guys were former champions of WWE, but they never had the chance to shine. I mean, they just had like a little moment, and then, oh, we like this person more. There you go. Your title's taken away. So, and these guys are both cruiserweights, I believe. I think Swerve is a cruiserweight.
He would technically be a 205 guy. He's right on that cusp. He's probably hovering in around 215 ish. Tony obviously is a bit of a little guy. I mean, I think Tony Nese and Johnny Silver would be a funny tag team to watch.
But yeah, I definitely enjoyed this, and it was a good opponent for Swerve's big debut.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody that was going to get the best out of him. And there was a lot of big spots, a lot of good moments. There was a couple little picky botches, if we're being particular. But overall, entertaining, good night, good end of the show. We want to see more of Swerve, where he's going to take this new swagger that he's got, this new attitude. And but that was Rampage in a nutshell. Like I said, it was kind of an average show. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't complete garbage. So the fans thought it was about a 6, which puts them in this spot here this week. So
number 4.
That's it. Number 4. With that being said, folks, we're going to quickly move on to number 3 in this week's Wrestling for Life Network Power Rankings. Me and my boy, or your boy, Will, are going through the numbers. And the next episode on the chart this week, with a big jump up in the standings, Impact Wrestling.
LJ loves that.
Yeah, right. LJ's going to be pretty happy. Again, not the best of shows. It was kind of a meh, kind of a deep breath after coming off the heels of Sacrifice last weekend. However, the fans thought it was slightly better than Rampage. I mean, like I said, I would have personally had Rampage ahead of this one, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah, that's what happens. There's some Impact fans out there, and I don't blame them. I'm not the biggest one. I'm not the best at explaining Impact, but
yeah.
This is by the fans. So
there we go.
There you go, number 3, guys.
Now, for me, big moment. We started the show with Josh Alexander, good old Canadian boy, making his return after having some visa issues, having some other issues, some contract issues. So he makes it very clear that he's signed with Impact Wrestling. He wants to be the face of Impact Wrestling, and our one and only LJ pointed out he sounds like Eddie Edwards. Well, sure enough, Eddie Edwards comes out. There's a bit of a disagreement, and from that we get Kenny King was scheduled to fight Willie Mack. Not a bad opening to the show. I really liked it. I'm a big fan of Josh Alexander. He's going to face Moose at Rebellion. I'm pumped about that. So we were off to a good show as far as I was concerned.
Yeah. Well, isn't Josh Alexander the one that Moose beat for the world title?
Well, yes.
Am I not mistaken?
Yeah, it was one of the big moments where Josh cashed in. Josh won the title finally after this big journey. His wife and child were in the ring with him. Moose cashes in, he had the suitcase, the old Money in the Bank, whatever you want to call it, in Impact, and cashed it in and beat him square in front of his family and stole that moment. So Rebellion, I'm looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be a barn burner.
That's a proper pay-per-view title as well. Rebellion. It's
right? From that, we got the Willie Mack Kenny King match. I mean, they're good guys, they're good pros, they're veterans. It was meh. We got through it. It was very slow paced. Followed it up with a John Skyler Ace Austin Crazy Steve match. That was a lot of fun. A little more up tempo. Austin gets another big win, but again, it was kind of average. There was nothing really crazy, like, oh, okay, that was so cool. It was a good match. That was about it.
yeah. Well, I think they're good at their matches, but
Mhm.
it is what it is, man. I don't know what to really say, but they
Yeah.
have some pretty decent people and pretty decent matches.
Yes. Now they're going to. It looks like obviously Ace Austin is heading towards Trey Miguel and the X Division title. I'm all for that. There'll be a hell of a match at Rebellion.
You almost said Revolution, I'll bet you.
I did not. All Star Knockouts tag team match. Obviously we got the Influence and we had the Influence involved. We had who just recently. Sorry, the Inspiration.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who's
Who
the
just
influence?
lost their belts to the Influence. They tagged up with Mickey James and Chelsea Green. Uh, Again, another person who lost the belt at Sacrifice, Mickey James, Sasha Steele, and her partner. So we get this big, 8 women tag. It was all right. Again, nothing really to write home about.
Yeah, no.
James gets the pin. And obviously she pinned Steele, so we're not done with that rivalry. So it looks like we'll get that again at Rebellion.
Good. I love how Mickey James, like in the age that she is, she's still getting time to shine. Like I was never really the biggest fan of her at first, but what she's doing now,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta give her credit.
Mm-hmm. And I'm a big fan of Mickey James, and I vary from you on that, but I do think this is the best Mickey that we've gotten ever. I mean, I really love what she's doing. It's very true to her, and she's large and in charge. So I'm looking forward to that match as well. But again, the whole match itself was a bit of a meh. Nobody really cared. It was pretty average. After that, we went to Jay White and the Good Brothers, Chris Bay, the Bullet Club. They cut a promo. Alex Shelley came out. Chris Sabin joined. We're going to get the Motor City Machine Guns and the Bullet Club, White and Bay, coming soon. Well, at Rebellion. That's an A plus. I mean, that was a good moment, a good promo. Then we went to Rich Swann versus Eddie Edwards. It was a good match. It wasn't a great match, back and forth, tied into this Honor No More beef. But it was a really good match. It didn't exactly, it wasn't a 5 alarm blaze by any stretch. And Eddie, obviously, as far as I'm concerned, it was obvious that Eddie was going to get the win, and he did. So
Yeah.
Eddie takes the W. Obviously, there's still heat between Honor No More and the rest of them. We'll see where this goes, but it's definitely gonna head towards Rebellion as far as this
Rebellion.
rivalry exists.
Yeah, and I think this is a big push for Eddie. I think this could bring him towards the world title after. Maybe. He's
Yeah,
getting the spotlight.
yeah, no, he's definitely getting the spotlight. He deserves it. I mean, the heart and the soul of Impact Wrestling turns on Impact Wrestling. Now is with Honor No More. And I mean, there will be some type of atonement for that, and there will be some type of over moment where he, I imagine he's got to push forward. And if somebody like Josh does beat Moose, there's rumors that Moose is dealing with injuries, as LJ had reported. So, I mean, the potential's there. If Josh Alexander then becomes the champion, we're perfectly set for Eddie and Josh to meet up, and then they can battle for that.
Interesting.
That's
I
the way
would
I.
be down for that. Yeah.
So that was Impact Wrestling. Sat in about about 6.5, 7 last week based on the fans' votes. So overall, again, a very kind of average show. Not the greatest, but it wasn't terrible. And we will move to number 2 on this week's countdown. And to much of people's surprise, a nice little jump up, a nice show. Lots happened, and that would be NXT 2.0.
Yeah, that's very shocked. The Nickelodeon Nxt, as I like to call it. Of course, myself. LJ and Chris called this one. Um, for me, it wasn't the best, but for everyone else, yeah, okay. So we started off with the Pajama Girl, as I like to call her, and Dakota Kai
Yeah.
defeating Raquel Gonzalez and Cora Jade. Now, this was an upset for me because,
Huge.
yeah,
Huge.
Raquel and Cora Jade, like especially Cora Jade, like she's becoming like this fan favorite, like good for a 20-year-old, right?
Yeah.
And Raquel, former NXT Women's Champion, lost to a woman in pajamas who used to be a goddamn ghost girl.
Mm-hmm. And her partner who talks to herself now randomly.
Yeah, Dakota Kai is now Crazy Kai, I guess.
Crazy Kai. I like it. Yeah, no, I mean, to me, it was a huge, especially you're cutting these vignettes of Raquel and her partner working out, exercising, getting ready. It felt like it was their tournament to have, and the next thing they were eliminated by a team that's shit. Let's be straight up, it's garbage. I cannot get behind the girl with the pajamas. I
Me
can.
neither.
I like Dakota Kai. We'll have to see what she does, but this version of Dakota Kai isn't my favorite version of Dakota Kai. Yeah, I mean, they move on to the finals of the. I mean, are we really going to let Dakota Kai and Wendy Chu in pajamas win the Dusty Cup?
That would be a huge smack in the face to anybody who's ever won the Dusty Cup, in my opinion. You look
Yeah.
at people like Ricochet and Black. You look at people like AOP, people like
Mm-hmm.
Finn and Joe. Like who? A woman in pajamas is gonna win the first ever, might I say, women's Dusty. Oh no, it wasn't the first ever. My bad.
No, Kai won it
Dakota.
last year.
Yeah, Kai won last year, so she's gonna be a two-time winner with a woman in pajamas.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I know it's a bad look, and then they went to more bad looks with Tiffany Stratton and Fallon Henley, Henley,
I think it's
whoever.
I think it's Fallon Henley.
Fallon Henley.
LJ seemed to know who this was, but yeah, got a victory over Daddy's Little Rich Girl.
Pretty
That's her
much,
nickname. Yeah, I don't understand.
right?
And then we
Cool.
have a decent last man standing between Grayson Waller and LA Knight. Grayson Waller got put over.
Yes,
Um,
of course.
so pretty decent. I think Grayson Waller is going to be like the MJF of NXT. Cody shows up and steals the Dusty Cup.
Right? Why
That
not?
would be so funny.
It just runs with it.
It's mine
No,
now.
but yeah, no, the LA Knight Grayson Waller match was unbelievable. What a match. I was a big fan of this match. Unfortunately, LA Knight has been doing jobs for just about everybody. This is a guy for me that should be on the main roster competing with grown men that seem like he's got his shit together. He cuts a mean promo. He's convicted. He digs in. The LA Knight gimmick is good. And, Waller is an up and coming. Like, yeah. Does he have the MJF
Not
feel?
really.
He's not as mean, right? He's too playful to be MJF.
Yeah, I'm just saying he's like the big heel of the thing. Like he came and beat the hell out of Johnny Gargano on his last night. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I completely agree.
I don't think I want to know how Vince got the daddy's little girl.
Oh, LJ, LJ,
Oh,
LJ.
come on, man. Kids watching. Anyways, um, then we have Io and Kaylee Ray defeating Casey and Caden in another Dusty semifinals. Now, since this is the only good team left, I want them to win, but I think they're
They're in
itching
trouble,
towards the pajama girl. They're in trouble with the pajamas.
right? No,
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, obviously, Shirai and what she means to NXT and the career she's had in NXT. Kaylee Ray, I mean, obviously, what she's meant to NXT UK. Then they're going to go up against Kai and Chu, and I don't have a lot of good feelings about it.
yeah. And then after that we have Imperium defeating MSK via disqualification due to interference with the Creed brothers who got attacked earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like they're itching towards a triple threat NXT Tag Team Championship match. Um,
Absolutely.
at Stand and Deliver, which I wouldn't mind, but I'm not the biggest fans of MSK.
Yeah, no, I mean, I liked MSK a little more when they were just kind of full of energy, and I don't know. I don't care for them anymore. But yeah, we're heading for that triple threat at WrestleMania weekend at Stand and Deliver, and then they moved on to what Dre asked what the match of the week was. This might be my vote for match of the week, as far as we got Ciampa, Breaker, and Ziggler for the title. And if memory serves me correct, a whole lot of people were shocked except this guy.
I wanted Dolph to win, but I didn't think it would actually happen. Like,
Yeah,
I was genuinely shocked. I think Chris said it good. He thought that Dolph was there just to take the pin, and either Tommaso or Braun would get the victory, but Dolph got it. So good on him.
it was a
Good.
good match. A lot of false finishes, a lot of grinding, back and forth, a lot of misdirection. But they did the one thing that nobody expected them to do, and that's what they should have done. And I think that's what you need. They showed the audience. There was people in that crowd, whether fake or not. They were completely shocked at the idea that they actually put the belt on Dolph Ziggler, and I think they should have. It's more notable. It's stronger of a move, and again, nobody saw it coming.
Yeah, and good on him. Like, if this is his last run, then I think NXT suits him well, and all the people there he could benefit and have other people benefit off him. Um, I hope he has a longer run with it, but I think the plan is to have Braun take it back. But if not, then I hope that he has a lengthy run and he has a memorable one.
Yeah, I don't see it being that long of a run. I could see him losing it at Stand and Deliver, to be 100% honest with you. But I don't
Yeah.
mind him as the champion, where these young guys are trying to, the showstopper comes in. I know, Sean, that's yours too. But Dolph comes in, and these young upstarts have to chase him around for this belt. And he's seasoned. He's good with the mic. He'll give you a good match any day of the week. I'm okay with it. I am. It's new. It's exciting. And holy shit, who saw that coming?
Yeah, I'm fine with it too. I'm 100% supportive of it. That was my vote.
Yeah, absolutely. And then with that being said, number one of the week, ladies and gentlemen, we are down, and it is a return. 2 weeks in a row, our fans have picked AEW Dynamite as the number one ranked show. This came in at a resounding 9. Now, a lot of the shows were average this week, 7s and 6s. A lot of fans really enjoyed Impact coming off the heels of the pay-per-view. A lot of crazy stuff happened, and a lot of good stuff. If you're a wrestling fan, this was another good show by AEW Dynamite. And it started with Jericho and Kingston.
Yeah, and it was all about oh my God, you didn't shake my hand. And it's like, I didn't shake my hand because of this and all that. So they were hinted at it, and then Santino and Ortiz came around, and then with 2.0 and Daniel Garcia, and then all of a sudden, Jericho in 2.0 beat the hell out of Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz. Then Hager got in the mix, beat the hell out of them as well, and now they're called the Jericho Appreciation Society. What are your thoughts on that?
The segment was all right. We knew the heel turn was coming. He didn't. If he wants to be involved with Kingston, he has no choice but to be a heel. And that's what happened. The dumbest goddamn name of a faction ever. It is awful. You couldn't have come up with anything else. I know
You could have called them. You could have called them the Inner Circle 2.0, considering one of the tag teams names is 2.0.
Right. Yeah, no, I think it was really stupid. I don't know what they could have called it. Like you said, that's probably a better choice. I know where they're going to go with this gimmick. And yeah, sure enough, Jericho is the leader of another young group of people. Jake Hager was the only one that doesn't have anything going on and couldn't find somewhere to go.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Have Hager be like the loyal one to Jericho. That's fine.
No, absolutely. I mean, and it will be we'll see. I mean, I 2.0 has been running around beating everybody up. Danny's been running around beating everybody up. they are going to get under people's skin. They're going to be annoying. They're going to be obnoxious, and they might get over his heels. They might do a really good job. So, as much as I hate the name, I don't really like the faction. It's got potential.
Yeah, it really does, and I would love to see what goes down. What the future holds.
Yeah. Then after that, we got Adam Page, Dante Martin, AEW World Champion Adam Page, Hangman Page in the ring. We'll skip right to the end of this one. He got a big win as we expected. And Cole comes out at the end. This was the big point of it all. And challenges for a 6-man tag match. What do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is just to tease the fact that Adam chooses the Undisputed Originals over the Young Bucks.
Yep.
So it seems to sort of hint at the fact that when we might have Hangman and the Young Bucks take on the Undisputed Originals, considering the fact the Dark Order doesn't like them anymore, apparently. I don't
Right.
understand that. Yeah.
No. Yeah, no, they're definitely creating that rift between Adam Cole and Red Dragon and the Young Bucks. And of course, keep in mind, the Young Bucks refused before Adam Cole even made his decision. The Young Bucks said, if you're fighting Adam Page, if you're fighting Hangman, we don't want to be involved. And he said, well, I wasn't going to. I'm picking these guys, but thanks. So there's trouble in paradise. The elite are not exactly acting very elite at this point.
Yeah, no, and not even the Dark Order likes Hangman anymore. So
Mhm.
a lot of rifts.
Yep. No, a lot of rifts, a lot of trouble, a lot of issues. And then that's fine. And then we went from that, we jumped into John Moxley and Brian Danielson versus JD Drake and Anthony Henry. We obviously knew this was going to be a squash match. You got to love that JD and Anthony Henry don't get an entrance, but Moxley and Brian get their own. We only have time for 2 entrances. It's going to this team. So you guys are jobbers. Get in the ring, job out, wait for see what they have to say. And that's exactly what it was. It was an absolute stomping led by a promo.
Yeah, it was a very emotional one by Sir Regal as well.
Yep. No, it was emotional, and a lot of it, and we didn't touch on it really, but Jericho got really heartfelt and emotional before he had his heel turn. We had some other, even Kingston was speaking from the heart. And then we got into this, and this was my favorite part of the entire week of wrestling, was the joy and the happiness and the elation that we saw from William Regal when he got in the ring. There's Tony. He acknowledges it's been 30 years. Tony Schiavone touches on some personal stuff, and he took some heat because he didn't exactly sell us on John Moxley, but it was because he went over time, and he actually put an apology. I don't think he should have apologized. What else could he say? He was heat of the moment, and you could tell he was just thrilled to be there, Will.
Yeah, no, like it was probably like a few minutes, but it felt like a few seconds because the joy and the happiness, like time flies when you're having fun. That's the classic saying.
Yeah.
And I love how Regal and Brian and Mox are all together. They're
Mhm.
going to kill it. Anthony probably wanted to quit wrestling after the beatdown from Mox and Brian. Oh
They
yeah, we joked about that. Like he just got his ass kicked.
they laid waste to that man, but we weren't sure how the Moxley dynamic was going to work with Brian as a team. I think if it was just them two, it wouldn't work. It just doesn't fit. But the whole story of William Regal came back to watch 2 of his favorite people act like assholes, and he's had enough, so he smacked them around, and he wants to see them dominate professional wrestling like professional wrestlers. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I think it's wicked. It was, like I said, it was probably my favorite segment of the entire week.
Yeah, probably mine too, if it wasn't for what happened later on in the show.
Yeah,
And
true.
you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's true. There's more to come. Then Pac defeated Wheeler Yuta in kind of a who cares match.
Yeah, like a filler one. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna get too much in this.
So we don't really care about this one. They were just kind of getting to the new point. Was Dre saying?
Brian, you're the greatest wrestler, Mox. I know you.
Yeah, that's what it was. And like I said, William put out an apology, but I really think we will see a bit of a promo where he hypes up Moxley. But that's all that happened was he spent so much time talking about his personal life and his health and leaving people worried that, this is a mission of Regal because he's only got days left to be with us. And thoughts and prayers with him. I hope he's doing all right. Maybe he knows more than we do and his health isn't the best. A lot of people have speculated to that, but he did. He was Brian's the perfect wrestler, and this and that. And he's like, Mox, I know you. And then he went back to business. So it happens. I'm not worried about it. People get too upset about dumb shit. But
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, I mean, so that was cool. And then obviously the Pac thing didn't matter. Then we got to the emergency board meeting of the HFO, which all of us knew the minute they put that out into the public, what that meant.
Yeah, they're usually like in the stairwell just doing random shit, and now they're in the ring. It's just like,
Why did we need an emergency meeting? What was going to happen? And to AEW's credit, we all knew what was coming. They stretched it out. They made us wait. They had a couple moments where we were like, no. I know
yeah,
Maria was, LJ was on the edge of her seat waiting for the moment to happen. And
yeah.
he kept making us wait a little bit longer. But when it happened, and Will, I'll let you tell everybody for those who didn't see what happened,
Jeff Hardy is all elite, baby.
That's true. Team Extreme. I know we had a lot of memes and a lot of jokes going around this week. The music hits. The old Team Extreme music hits. Jeff comes running out, takes time to give the fans a couple how you doings, and gets in the ring, saves his brother. And I don't care what anyone says. That embrace, that hug between the Hardys, that was genuine. That was real. Another emotional moment.
Yeah, I mean, Matt wanted Jeff in AEW ever since he joined, and now that moment finally came. And they came with the Hardy Boys theme music, exactly, Chris. And that was even more shocking. Like I said earlier, I thought it was going to be like a Jeff Hardy original, or something like maybe like even a generic hype rock theme, but it came with the OG Hardy Boys theme, and I love it.
Yeah, no, and then obviously when we saw them on Rampage doing the walkout, they're they're in the fishnet shirts and the tight shirts, and their cargo pockets are back, and Matt Hardy went from the biggest pain in the ass and probably the most blown out superstar on AEW, just being used for the sake of it, to oh my god, my brother's back and I matter again. So good for Matt as well.
Yeah, now they can have one last run either for like a year or two, and then they can ride off into the sunset together.
Yeah, I think we'll see this play out for a little bit. I would be surprised if they didn't end their career with a bit of a rivalry against themselves, against each other.
Yeah, and I think that would absolutely kill it, especially in a place like AEW.
Yeah, absolutely. Another really good moment, and why this show did so well was that there was a lot of good moments. Wardlow comes out to talk about winning the giant golden floaty ring that he now has. So if he's worried about drowning at the pool, he's good. And if he just wants to show everybody, Sonic's not the only one that can grab a gold ring, he's got one.
Yep, and now he is still under contract with MJF. He just no longer gives a damn.
Yes, and that's how contracts work, right?
Yeah, not legal disputes. It's just I don't care. I'm elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. The coolest thing about this segment was Wardlow's over. The crowd is into what he said. And a guy that we haven't heard speak too much, he nailed this promo. He walked out and he needed to nail this promo. He needed to tell people we can take him seriously. He's articulate, well-spoken. You believe he's going to mess people up. So, yes, there's issues with him and MJF, but I thought he batted it out of the park for his kind of his first really big solo spotlight moment.
Yeah, and I think he is the future now more
Yes,
than ever.
absolutely. I mean, now he's going to have that match coming up. And I mean, this is curious. Will the the Pinnacle's been kind of fractured and not used a whole lot? Will they bring in another guy? Will MJF, if he's losing his bodyguard, a guy like MJF doesn't just go, "Oh, I guess I lost my bodyguard." He finds another bodyguard. Who's next for MJF? How does it play into the rivalry? Will it matter? And again, I mean, it would have to be a pretty big guy. Who can he convert? Who will join his side?
The only one I can really see is Powerhouse Hobbs. Maybe combine Team Taz and the Pinnacle.
Wow, that'd be an interesting stretch. But yeah, definitely a guy, a character in that kind of that kind of ilk. I think that would work, but it was a great job by Wardlow. He killed it out. We transitioned into the AEW Tag Team Championship match, Jurassic Express versus the Acclaimed. It was a great match.
Yeah, I'm glad the Acclaimed is getting their spotlight as well. Like, a lot of people give them a lot of shit. Well, they're supposed to. They rap and they get heat.
Yeah,
Obviously, that's the
yeah, that's
point.
it. That's the point. And they're getting a lot of heat. I mean, the crowd is not liking what they're bringing to the table, and yeah, I mean, the match was what it was. I mean, obviously, we get the Jurassic Express to hold on to their title. It's definitely heading towards the clash. Obviously, with as far as what we're going to get. I mean, somebody's got to come after them and really take those belts. So I don't know. How do you feel?
I think if anyone's gonna take those belts, it's going to be obviously the Undisputed Originals.
Yeah,
Um, I hope it is.
I don't mind that at all. After that match, we got Thunder Rosa versus Leyla Hirsch. I mean, it's all right. I like Thunder Rosa, obviously. Rosa gave us a pretty heartfelt promo or with Tony Schiavone after her match. Challenges Britt Baker. They're going to be in her hometown of San Antonio, and we're going to do it in a steel cage. Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker for the belt in a steel cage in Thunder's hometown. This has Thunder Rosa winning it all over it for me, buddy.
In the terrible Texas.
Right?
Yeah, and then after that was Scorpio and Sami, right?
Yes. And this, for me, is right up there with Dolph Ziggler for shock of the week.
Yeah, like Scorpio seemed like the kind of guy that's just like, oh, I don't care, and he's Dan Lambert's puppy dog, so
Yeah.
it was insane. Like, he won the TNT title, and Sammy was like the kind of guy that they like. It seemed like
Hmm.
they loved. Like, he was doing the big matches, doing the big moments, and all that.
Hmm.
And yeah, and then Scorpio won. Paige Van Zant. No, Ty Conti came. Paige Van Zant beat the hell out of her, and then
Yes.
everyone else beat the hell out of Sammy. Um, Paige signs the contract on Tay Conti's ass, and then it's over.
It's true. So, yeah, no, the two ladies definitely got at it. Tay took a beating. Yes. The contract was signed on the bottom of Tay. That's it. I think that's going to be obviously the first storyline we're getting into, and maybe that's where it goes. Maybe it's Sammy's got to want his belt back. Tay's going to want revenge. It was a lot. Essentially, to me, the match and the title change was to hype up the ending of it, and the ending of it was the fact that Paige Van Sant is all elite. Jeff Hardy is all elite. Keith
Yeah,
Lee is all elite.
Swerve Strickland. All these people.
And all elite. Redbeard, we're not sure, but he might
Yeah,
be all elite. So
Buddy Matthews, all elite.
it's becoming like a Jeff Foxworthy joke. Like, you might be all elite if, and then we got to run that segment one day. But no, it was a good moment. I'm such a huge fan of Paige. Why not? It's a big deal that she signed. Obviously, she's semi-famous, if not infamous, for some of the work that she's done with the American Top Team. Everyone
Yeah,
knows she's had a career in a different type of work and a little more physical. She's not afraid to take a punch in the face or throw a punch. She's dynamic. She's charismatic. And that's how we went off the air with another big. I mean, we kind of knew this one was coming, but it was a good surprise. But Scorpio Sky, I mean, kudos to the legend, the man who's been a grinder of the independent roads for so long, is now got the TNT title away from Sammy Guevara. I don't know how long he's going to have it. I don't know if this continues with Sammy. Does Ethan Page get jealous?
Does
I have
Wardlow go
no
after it?
idea.
Yeah.
So that's it. Well, that was the week in wrestling. Did you agree with the fans that Dynamite was about a 10?
Yeah, it seemed like it. There was a lot going on, and it was only 2 hours too. A lot going on in 2 hours, and it's up there. We had Jeff Hardy, we had Paige Van Zant, we had Scorpio being the new champ. We had a riff between the UO, I'm gonna call them the Undisputed Originals, and
I like that you call them that.
yeah, or the UO, my bad,
The UO.
and the Elite. Definitely up there for a 10 for me, and if not, 9.5.
Yeah, I think when you start adding up the votes, but yeah, it definitely stood out as the most entertaining show out there. What I loved about Dynamite this week is the fact that it was very much emotional. It was real. Like, people were giving promos and offering feelings and speeches that where you were like, I really believe in this. I really believe that they believe in this, that they care about this, that it matters. So, yeah, to me, it was a hell of a night of wrestling. And I'm looking forward to this week's Dynamite. Yeah, Raw, SmackDown, hi, WWE. Those are your main shows. The fans think they suck. Do better. Raw had a moment where it jumped up to 3 in the power rankings. Now it's back down to 6. So I don't know if there's any hope, Will.
Yeah, there's barely any hope left. The only hope that they really have right now is get a new CEO.
Just change management. Let's figure this out.
Yeah.
But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that brings an end to the power rankings. That was our show. Your number one, based on the fans at our watch party, was AEW Dynamite. NXT 2.0 had a big week. Impact's hanging around in the middle as it usually does. And obviously, we got to get a little more out of the big WWE shows. Will, as always, it was a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure.
Yep, and that's us for now. Don't forget, folks, we are the Wrestling for Life Network. That's Will. I'm KJ. We got LJ. We got Chris. The team is growing. We got so much planned, so many things coming your way. We will be here all week long. We have the Crockett Cup coming up. We have WrestleMania coming up. We got independent wrestling. We got reviews, shows, live watch parties. We do not stop. And the best part about us is we're having a whole lot of fun while we do it. Isn't that right, Will?
Oh, a lot of fun and a lot of laughs, a lot of conversations, a lot of debates. What more can you ask for?
That's it. The fam is all here, folks, going from the basement to the penthouse. And that's all we can do. Every day we're grinding, and every day it gets a little bit better. So thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us on the Wrestling for Life Network Power Rankings this week. And I will see Will and everyone else on the flip side. Thank you so much.